All right. She-Hulk. Attorney at Law. First episode in the books. So, I just finally got through watching it. So me, I enjoyed it. Right, I haven't watched anybody else's reviews, but I enjoyed it. Same thing with Miss Marvel. Right, I went into Miss Marvel completely thinking that I wasn't going to like it, but I really enjoyed that entire series. And I might even I'll probably do a ranking at some point. But She Hulk is what we're actually talking about, right? Like I said, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this first episode. Of course, it was a lot of explain her and set up and show you how she got her powers. It was pretty quick. It did kind of show like it did kind of go through the whole getting her powers thing very quickly. Um, and of course, there's a different and I'm guessing that certain reviewers will probably have this gripe about it, right? Most most heroes, not necessarily hero shows, but most stories, right? They go through the hero's journey, right? And if you're familiar with the hero's journey, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I don't know all of the steps, right? But there's a process, right? Just basically think of what Luke Skywalker went through in the Star Wars series, right? The original trilogy, definitely not the sequel trilogy. But you know, there's not much. There's not really a hero's journey as you would expect in certain shows, right? From what I understand and from what I've learned, the heroine's journey is a little different than actually very different from the hero's journey, right? Um, so I think that aspect is going to um, escape a lot of people when they watch this show, especially if you're familiar with the hero's journey and you know what the hero's journey is, how significant it is in a lot of stories. If you go into this expecting that, you're gonna be disappointed. Um, but like I said, the heroine's journey is a whole lot different. I'm not well versed in it, but I know it's very different. Um, so I will say that it did kind of run through getting her powers thing very quickly, but they didn't really have to go into too much detail about that. Like he got into an accident, and spoiler alert, by the way. Hopefully you've seen the episode by now, but they get into the accident. Hulk's blood, or Bruce Banner's blood drips into a cut on her arm, and her blood gets poisoned by Bruce Banner's blood. And if you remember, Incredible Hulk, which was so long ago that a lot of people just completely forgot about, but you know there was a whole plot line of him trying to keep just a drop of his blood from getting into a bottle of that Mexican cola or whatever it was, right? Um, and which Stan Lee ended up drinking. Shout out and rest in peace to the goat. Uh, but anyway, so again, it made sense, right? It made sense. It did kind of rush through, her getting her powers and all of that, and you will get to a point where, because there always has to be some kind of mistakes or some kind of um, you know uh, in over your head type of moments, right? Miss Marvel, they went through the same thing, right? She got her powers very quickly, um, but at the same time, like once she got her powers, she had plenty of moments where she was a little in over her head. She made mistakes, and I'm quite sure they'll go into that in She-Hulk. Um, but again, it's only the first episode. But I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. My wife, she had a good time with it. Um, there's a lot of woke, empowering things in there. Not a whole lot, not a whole lot. like it wasn't like crazy or overbearing, but it really like goes into what women go through, right? And um, I like how they incorporated that into because sometimes certain conversations kind of get thrown in your face. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, this did this really have to get put in here? Just in case, just because. But the way that they, to me, the way that they played, this like there was a conversation about her controlling her anger, and she basically went off on Bruce, saying that I got to control my anger every day for what I go through as a woman, right? Um, they made it make sense. You understood where she was coming from. So I definitely I like that. I understood where she was coming from. I felt that. But again, overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun with it. Uh, can't wait to see what they do next week. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed it. She-Hulk Attorney at Law, episode 1. In the post-credit scene, it's funny. It's hilarious. Um, she does give me Deadpool vibes a little bit. Just a little bit. Not necessarily. Obviously, she's not Deadpool, but just the way she breaks the fourth wall. She doesn't break the fourth wall a whole lot. Just maybe like a couple times. But the way she breaks the fourth wall and how the post credit scene ends, um, it just really made me. It gave me Deadpool feels. But anyway, like I said, overall, um, I don't know if I should like rate each episode. I guess I will. Screw it. I give it a solid, I don't know, 3.5 out of 5. Like I really enjoyed it. Um, I don't know. I was thinking 4, but I'm like, that's like damn near perfect. Uh, I don't want to go that high, but again, I don't want to go low where it's just like middle of the road because I really did enjoy it. Well, 3.75. It's a funny story behind that number. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed She-Hulk Attorney at Law episode 1. If you did, let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. And see you next week for episode 2. Talk to you next time.